guys, welcome back. I got two awesome things to show you today. The first one will be for Stable Diffusion. As you know, it's really hard to keep the same consistent character in Stable Diffusion, which will often give us completely different subjects. If we're trying to make a storyboard or a comic book or anything of the sort where we need the same person over and over again, that's going to be extremely hard for Stable Diffusion. Or is it? We may have found a way to solve that. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is a way to change your Siri on your iPhone to Chat GPT, which will give you much richer answers. This is going to be really interesting. Stick around. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to a random name generator website called Behind the Name. I will leave all the links in my description as usual. I'm not going to go through all the steps. I'll show them to you, but I'll show you the results so you don't have to wait for me to generate all the images. So I'm just going to show you my example. I went in. I will show you how to do that. I got Hannah Hrafnilhudur. That's a name for an Icelandic woman. In your case, you'll be going to behindthename.com/random to create a random name. You can pick masculine or feminine. I would keep it simple, either one of these two, and do not touch anything else. So in my case, I chose feminine, and I chose Icelandic, which is right here. And the name I got was the one I just showed you earlier. In your case, you could do anything. You can pick any other one. You can say Spanish. Try not to pick multiple at once because it's confusing. It'll be confusing for Stable Diffusion. So just pick one of those just as a test and try to keep it in these normal categories, not in mythological. For now, at least. You can obviously experiment yourself later on. And you'll hit generate a name and it'll generate Cassandra Immaculada. So what you're going to do is you're going to select this name, copy it, go to your Stable Diffusion, and paste it, use it as your subject. Because when you use one certain name as the subject, it will trick Stable Diffusion into anchoring that name to a specific person. So it'll create a random person, but then it'll stick to the same face and the same aspect, more or less. Right? It's not going to be 100%, but more or less it's going to stick to the same features when you use that name. So now my Hannah Harnifador, I can use her to get multiple versions of the same person doing different things. I'm going to show you the results I got. In this case, I have Hannah jogging. We will ask, let's say, Hannah to be, I don't know, riding a bicycle in where? In Amsterdam. Let's see what we get. As you see here, we did a close-up on Hannah at the restaurant. We did multiple of these. Let's try something else. Where could we put Hannah? We can say Hannah is at, or no, just dancing at the club. Let's see what we get. Here we got Hannah dancing at the club. I'm currently using the Deliberate V2, but I'm just switching around with the models, seeing if it works with different models, and lo and behold, it does. It doesn't work as well with every model, but it works well enough. If you pick one model and stick to it, you'll get pretty consistent results. So this is great, I think, because it creates an anchor to that name and constantly gives you the same character. Now, obviously, the alternative to this is to train your own model, which you can do, but this is kind of a hack, a quick hack to get the same character over and over again. You can pick different names, obviously, like I showed you, and see which character pleases you the most, and then stick to that name to constantly get the same kind of character in all your pictures. These are the results you got, and as you can see, it's fairly consistent. This is Hannah in Amsterdam on a bike, a close-up of Hannah's face, a little bit angry here, a little bit even angrier here at the gym. I guess she wasn't in the mood for the gym. I can't blame her. Then we got Hannah eating because she did good gym, so she deserved it. And of course, once she feels good about herself, she's up at the club dancing. We've used different models, as we said, and it's given us fairly consistent faces of Hannah, body and face. I mean, it looks like Hannah throughout. So this is a little hack for you to be able to have a consistent character within the pictures that you're trying to produce. Now, of course, there's always an option to create your own character, or rather to train your own character, if this is what you want to do. But this is just a little hack that will avoid you all the trouble of going through training a character, etc., etc. Obviously, you can pick all kinds of different names. You can pick different ethnic backgrounds. Um, you can pick different names and see which one fits the character that you're trying to get the most, and then stick to that name for consistent results. I hope that helps. That is definitely going to help me in my work. Now, as promised, I'm going to show you a very cool hack where you can use ChatGPT instead of Siri on your iPhone. It's specifically for iPhone for now because it's an iPhone shortcut. It's an iOS shortcut that was created by a user that I found on Twitter. And that will allow you to get much better answers, obviously, from ChatGPT when you ask a question rather than getting the answers that you would normally get from Siri. So I'm going to let you hear how that works, and then I'm going to show you how to get it done.
So check out how much better Hey GPT is compared to Siri. So let's start with Siri. What is the Drake equation?
Here's what I found.
Okay, so this is pretty useless, doesn't tell us anything, whatever. We can click a link. Now let's try GPT.
What can I do for you?
What is the Drake equation? It's going to take just a sec because it's got to hit the API, so it's going to be a little bit slower.
The Drake equation is an equation created by astronomer Dr. Frank Drake in 1961 to estimate the number of intelligent civilizations that might exist in our
So as you can see, we're getting a
galaxy
much better
that could
answer.
potentially
You can
communicate with
customize
us.
some of the
The
other
equation
parameters
takes
to meet
into
your
account
needs here,
several
but this is a
factors,
really
such
nice
as the
basic
rate of star
template
formation
to
in
start
the
building a
galaxy,
little
the
extension to help
fraction of
you
stars
implement
that have planets,
ChatGPT
the
right on your
fraction of
iPhone.
planets.
So this is quite cool. Now I'm going to tell you how you can install that on your own phone. And you can even go in there and change multiple things. You can make it type as it says it. You can possibly change the voice, do multiple things with it if you like fiddling around with it, or just use it with its base case. Keep in mind though, you have to be a paid member of ChatGPT to be able to use this. When I say paid, I mean when you use your API key, because you're obviously going to need an API key. When you use your API key, it's going to charge you basically for any software, not just this one, but anytime you use the ChatGPT outside of the ChatGPT itself, it's going to call for your API, and every call is basically 3 cents. I mean, it's not really expensive at all, but they do require you to put your credit card there, and when you make a call, when you ask a question, basically it's 3 cents. So basically, you could say that it's 3 cents per question. If you're okay with that, you have to go to your API page, which I will leave the link below on how to reach your API page. And you have to copy this. Obviously, you won't be able to see the secret key here. So what I recommend you do is to create a new key. When you press create a new key, I'm not going to do it now because there's no point. It's just going to open up a window and show a key. What you're going to want to do is copy that key and save it somewhere. When you install the software I just showed you, which is a shortcut for iOS, the first thing it'll ask you is to put your API key in there. And that's where you're going to have to paste it. So you're going to have to email it to yourself so you can open it from your phone or send it through a chat app or whatever, however you want to move it to your phone. And so you don't have to retype it because it's quite a long key. It's like a series of numbers and letters. So you're going to send it to yourself, open it from your phone, and then just paste it inside the shortcut the first time you activate it. After that, it'll never ask you for anything anymore. The app just works. The shortcut will just function normally. Now, if you are not a paid member, that is, if you've never used your API key before and you want to set that up, you're going to have to go to billing, then overview. You can add a payment method. You can even set a limit usage so it doesn't pass. Like, for example, you want to spend a maximum of $3 per month, which is 100 questions, right? Or you want to spend whatever. You decide how much you want to spend. You can set a limit so it doesn't take more than that from your credit card. And then you can check out the pricing if you want to see all the details. But like I said, I checked yesterday and it was 3 cents basically. And you just add your credit card here. And at that point, it'll work. So every time you ask a question, it'll charge you 3 cents. but the quality of the answers you get are really going to be amazing. You'll basically have ChatGPT on your iOS. It does not exist for Android yet, seeing as it's an iOS shortcut. But if you're an iOS user, it's fantastic. You'll have ChatGPT right there on your phone to ask it anything you want and get specific answers. Well, folks, that's it for now. I'm going to leave everything in the description. If you like these kinds of updates on AI and all kinds of new technologies like the blockchain, do leave a like and subscribe. It helps a lot. And I will see you next time.